guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Batgirl issue 29, and before I start talking about this issue, I do have a couple updates. Now, first update, very important update, is that I will not have comic book reviews for next week. That is my hiatus weekend. I will not have any videos for Wednesday through Sunday. Now, I am going to try to have Comic Uno episode up that week. Obviously, will not be on time. I will try either Sunday night to have it up or Monday. So that will be the reviews for next week. I will not have any reviews on this channel. So be sure to subscribe to Comic Frontline. Then we go check out Comic Uno episode when that is released for next week's comics. I also will be tweeting about next week's comics as the weekend goes on, and I'll try my hardest to put out my opinion there. So follow me on Twitter for that. But there will be no reviews here, and there will be no hour review here for next week. And now let's talk about Comic Uno episode 39. That's for this week's comics, and there are a couple exclusive comics, and that's to show or review all the comics I've read this week in one show. And here are those comics. We got Invincible, issue 109. Powerpuff Girls, issue 7. The Superior Spider-Man, issue 9. Nightwing, issue 29. Hawkeye, issue 17. Sorry, one of them dropped. Alright, Smallville, Alien, issue 4. There's a lot of comics this week, guys. Alright, Black Widow, issue 4. And Trish Out of Water, issue 5. And one last thing I want to say is that we are going to have a Veronica Mars live show tomorrow where me, Brent, and Jay are going to be watching the Veronica Mars movie live. I'm going to also probably have like a short review on this channel too, but be sure to watch the commentary of us watching Veronica Mars. So that will be on Comic Frontline. So subscribe to Comic Frontline. But now let's get started with Batgirl issue 29 we're up to now. So yeah, we're still in this vampire story arc. I love the covers. Batgirl has to be one of my favorite series just to read, and also my favorite series for these covers. And I think that's definitely stayed true from the Stephanie Brown series, because they had awesome covers also, and had that type of painting style. So really like that. And yeah, explains the whole story. We have this vampire hunter. Strix is in this issue also, and Barbara. So where we left off with the last issue was that the cops were after Barbara, Strix, and the vampire hunter. And the vampire hunter still thinks Barbara and Strix are vampires. They do get out of this, and they end up going to the vampire hunter's house to save the girl. And in the end, we find out that the girl was actually a vampire herself. And then iVampire randomly came in and says, I'm going to get the girl. Bye. And that's pretty much what happens with the issue. We also have some really cool Strix and Barbara stories, seeing how they connect, which was really fun to see. Especially since we have seen Strix before this, before this story arc, we did get to see some story with Strix, so it's kind of cool to see that ongoingly. And I guess if you're a Birds of Prey fan, it's fun to see their interaction too. And that's it. That's pretty much the end of the story arc, it seems. The next story arc is going to be the Midnight Man, so I don't think it's going to be this guy anymore, though. It felt like the end of the story arc to me. I thought this was a solid issue. Usually Batgirl's a lot higher on my list. You'll see in Comic Uno episode 39. It's kind of middle ground this week for me. You know, there's actually a lot of comics that just didn't blow my mind this week. I don't think really any comic blew my mind this week, which was a disappointment. But there were some good comics, and this was a solid comic. I did like it. Obviously it's Gail Simone. I love the dialogue. I like the tone of the book. I think Barbara was great here. Strix and Barbara's relationship was really cool. I like how Strix was writing down on paper, I won't kill. And she said, like, unless I have to or something, is like, I will kill, pretty much. So tricking Barbara. So I do like that trust and not trust between those two characters. And I think their interaction was really fun throughout this issue. But yeah, I thought it was a cool issue. I think it's unique that this guy thought vampires existed, and then vampires did exist. Now, I did think it did fall apart a little towards the end, where we found out the girl actually was a vampire, and then randomly iVampire, a series that got canceled, you know, about a year ago, comes into this issue. I thought that was kind of a poor excuse to just bring iVampire into an issue. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of a rushed ending. I didn't really like it. I think it would have been better if he was just crazy, and we ended at that. I thought that was the cool thing about this story arc. So yeah, it was solid. I still liked it, liked the art, just not as good as I usually feel with this series. I thought it was a little bit of a filler story arc, but still a good issue overall. So I'm going to give it 4 stars. I thought it was solid. Still pick it up. It's still really interesting, except that Batgirl's usually a little bit on a higher level for me, and it's a shame to see just a solid issue from this series. But hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno, and guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and their own situations, and don't forget to like my Facebook page, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.